urgency, and I mean urgency, of recent events, our keynote speakers assembled an ethics committee of select Renaissance speakers to commission an independent investigation into the matters regarding Richard Stewart.
Wait a minute.
This is beyond my knowledge, so to present the results of this investigation, we're going to be welcoming our keynote speaker, George Alger, Lance Miller, and Naomi Connors. Led by Mr. Alger and team will outline the matter in question and offer recommendations. Our presentation is entitled The Ruination of Richard Stewart. The Ruination of Richard Stewart. Please welcome George Alger.
How could you? Oh, Richard, you're really going to get it now.
This wasn't on the program.
Not your program, maybe. That's too much.
Oh, look at Richard.
Ew.
Susan, did you know that?
Really
fair.
Oh, sure.
How many here have seen the recent video entitled The Ruination of Richard Stewart?
Yay!
That is far too many. That video is supposed to have been suppressed. To those unfamiliar with Richard's most recent scandal, a video has surfaced this past week showing him expressing an assertion which is contrary to the very ideals and purposes of not only Toastmasters International, but the Renaissance speakers in particular. In brief, Mr. Stewart has propagated a perspective that Toastmasters and the Renaissance speakers are the root cause of his ruination.
Richard.
I bear witness. I bear witness.
Wait, it's probably true.
Although the same video features many in this room offering positive rebuttal to his absurd declamation, Richard's slander is simply unbecoming of a Renaissance speaker.
Yeah. Richard, go to your room, man.
As all of us around the world, all of us and millions around the world have benefited from Toastmasters since its inception in 1924.
Yeah.
Hence, when I confronted Mr. Stewart about this video matter, he referred me to his attorney. Now, when I contacted his attorney, he then faxed me a statement purporting that the person in the video was not, in fact, Richard Stewart. He further cited identity theft and the rise of imposters in our modern society as a current problem. The facts also highlight that this attorney was prepared to defend Mr. Stewart in court should anyone cast aspersion on his client's good name. However, within 24 hours, the same attorney retracted that initial statement and issued a new one, which included the following. The alleged video message cannot be taken at face value, since Mr. Stewart maintains documented and unrepentant status as a public liar.
Yeah, help me out here. It's true.
He signed an oath, man.
And as a logical consequence, standards of accountability ascribed to most citizens of the world do not pertain to the few afflicted with such pathological illness.
Oh, my God.
Oh, wow.
I never knew that, Richard.
Then the bombshell hit. An anonymous Good Samaritan sent me an encrypted email stating that the video message, and indeed the subsequent obfuscation of the video message by Mr. Stewart's attorney, were mere subterfuge. It's the timing of the message that is the true source of travail. Underlying the videos, the denials, and the blatant irresponsibility, it appears that Mr. Stewart's real intent in releasing this video message at this time and propagating it via the Renaissance Speakers website, YouTube, and Facebook
Gasp.
was to sow chaos amongst the club prior to the new officer's installation, with the sole purpose of leveraging such confusion as a catalyst to take over the club as the new president.
Richard, that's well done. That's exactly what I would have done.
Now we know the seeds of his destruction. See how it spreads?
So here we are, at a rather awkward moment of having
Yes, awkward.
being on the point of installing him as president at the same time that we should be kicking him out of the club.
Oh my God.
Hence, due to the urgency and timing of this matter, three of us took it upon ourselves to commission an investigation and evaluation of Mr. Stewart with potential consequence of an immediate impeachment to save this club from further embarrassment.
You can't impeach me before I'm installed.
Yeah, why bother? Why bother?
You can't do this.
Details on the motion is ready.
Objection.
Due to the need to expedite this matter, we did not feel it necessary to evaluate his Toastmasters conduct prior to the Renaissance Speakers, simply because it is already well documented that not only was he banned from all the Toastmasters clubs in his Texas home district, he was evicted from the entire state.
You can't handle the truth.
This investigation resulted in a tabulation of plus points and out points, which my esteemed associates possessed. Mr. Miller, please would you show them the binder here? I'd like to call to your attention to part one of the binder
Can't see it.
of Richard Stewart.
Part one.
There are 23 binders. Each binder represents a year that Richard Stewart has been in the club, starting in 1989, the year he supposedly co-founded the club with Roberta Perry. For the record,
Help, Roberta.
For the record, this ethics committee considers that a dubious claim. Let's review the facts. Roberta Perry has started over 50 Toastmaster clubs around the world. Richard Stewart, on the other hand, has been kicked out of just as many.
I invite you guys into my house.
Better way to hang you on the wrong tree.
Yeah, really. There's no house yet. Jeez, Louise, and the little tree.
So one does not need to let his imagination run afar when one might suppose that this apparent co-founding scenario was actually established through a pattern of consistent blackmail, resulting in Roberta purporting that he is a co-founder, with the motive that it would be harder for others to kick him out of the club if he were considered a co-founder. That part of the investigation is still pending.
My head hurts.
Regardless, in all fairness, this was a plus point, out point evaluation, and in spite of the 23 binders of out points, there were some redeeming qualities
Yes!
herewith completely contained as plus points on this reference.
A post-it note.
Now, on to the specifics. Due to a respect of your time and dignity, we will not cover all of the outpoints, and especially we will not publicly announce the most compromising and salacious items documented in these binders. Instead, we also commissioned an evaluation of the evaluation to find any common thread that might be woven throughout all the outpoints in the 23 binders. We had this additional evaluation commissioned with a deadline completion by this morning, which was only received just before our arrival. Personally, I haven't reviewed it. Matter of fact, I understand this right in the front there, Mr. Stewart. Mr. Right here. Mr.
Yes.
Miller. Thank you. Oh, yeah.
Look at that, rush.
All right. Dear Mr. Alger, pursuant to your request, our firm has summated the 23 binders of outpoints pertaining to one Mr. Richard Stewart. We have concluded this research with a single sentence to embrace a primary, overarching outpoint. Such conclusion is hereby proffered for your club's consideration as follows. Mr. Stewart is lacking sufficient seriousness. Any of your experience regarding duly noted.
Just live.
Finally, let's review the plus points.
Yeah.
There are two. Number one, he is married to Susan Stewart. Hence, there is hope for him.
Poor Susan.
Two, he is not serious. So,
Jack, I think that there's been a microsecond or two of seriousness.
That's when Susan gives him that look.
That look.
So how does this weigh out here?
right now, when we consider the single overarching outpoint of Richard Stewart, and we compare it to his plus points, we find a common denominator of unseriousness, which might be alternatively expressed as representative of a man who truly embodies the spirit of play. To that, the three of us propose that we not impeach Richard Stewart quite yet, but that instead we look forward to a new Renaissance speaker's year of reveling in the spirit of play led by Richard Stewart as the ultimate playmaster. Richard, may you ruin all of our lives in a similar fashion as you.